The instincts are probably the least understood aspect of the Enneagram by most casual Enneagrammers, and yet they have a profound influence on the expression of our primary type. The three instincts are the social instinct, the self-preservation instinct, and the sexual instinct. These instincts sit on top of our personality. So it doesn't go Enneagram type instinct, it goes instinct Enneagram type. This is why I always point to the instincts as the primary reason you may have mistyped yourself or mistyped someone else, because they come through so much in your interactions with people and just how they live their daily life. And yes, we have all three instincts within us to some degree. So just think of it like a ranking system of first, second, and third place. Okay, with that bit of context, let's talk about how sevens look when they operate primarily out of the social instinct. Social sevens probably look like the stereotype of sevens in general. They are the founders of FOMO, and they can't stand the thought of missing out on a good time with a good group of people. They rally around a shared set of activities that keeps the friend group alive, like intramural sports or fantasy sports or going to a sporting event I have a lot of really bro-y people in my mind right now. Jokes aside, social sevens can actually be really altruistic as well, and they may even fall in love with community service because it brings them a constant source of new faces and events to plan or participate in. Social sevens do wrestle with some tension caused by competing desires for social connection versus their personal independence, especially if they have a six wing. Sevens at their core are independent operators, and so they neither want to be in charge of the group, nor do they want anyone else to be in charge of the group. They just kind of want the flow to be in charge of the group. They believe that things should just work out, and that belief makes them clash with authority wherever they go, especially if they're stressed and have disintegrated to the worst traits of the type 1 reformer. Social sevens can also look a lot like threes in that they overcommit themselves to various people and various opportunities. They prefer a full social calendar that allows them to cancel last minute rather than having nothing on the books at all. In their most unhealthy state, social sevens have total Peter Pan syndrome, and they want to stay 22 years old for the rest of their life rather than learning to grow up and keep their commitments and make disciplined decisions. Okay, that's the social instinct. Now let's move on to the self-preservation instinct. Self-preservation sevens are primarily concerned with having access to stuff. They really enjoy material things and usually have a home filled with cool gadgets or art or unique interior design. They can be extremely hard workers because they feel free when they are financially secure, and money ensures that they'll never feel bored or incapable of partaking in a fun experience. Self-preservation sevens can also vacillate between pampering themselves and their loved ones and then being super cheap. They love to brag about the deals they found and don't mind spending tons of time searching for exactly what they want. Self-preservation sevens are also the most independent of all sevens, which can make them look like fives because they fear that other people will cost them their financial freedom. They can get very anxious if they encounter even the slightest financial hardships and hate asking for help. If they do ask for help, they expect a quick yes, and if you don't give it to them, it can stir up conflict because their innate lack of self-worth is triggered. In their unhealthiest state, self-preservation sevens can take crazy risks, all in an attempt to gain financial security, like high-stakes gambling or investing in risky business ventures. They can also subvert their own self-preservation instinct by indulging in the seven's core struggle with gluttony and start overeating, drinking all the time, self-medicating, or just going on shopping sprees. All right, that's enough about the self-preservation instinct. Last up is the sexual instinct. Now, the sexual instinct is not about wanting to have sex all the time. The sexual instinct is about a need for intensity or for heightened experiences or one-on-one connection. Sometimes a late-night conversation about wild ideas and future possibilities is actually more stimulating than sex for the sexual seven. So it's probably no surprise that sexual sevens love romance. This can make them actually look like type 2 helpers since they crave the intensity that comes from falling in love, be it with a person or a place or even an activity. Most of the time though, it's a person, and more specifically, a really interesting, unique person. When sexual sevens lock onto someone that tickles their fancy, they feel entranced by this wave of deep curiosity and intrigue that washes over them. And then the person on the receiving end of the sexual seven's gaze often feels equally intrigued and energized by this palpable energy that the sexual sevens create with their deep passion and quick wit and insightful questions. All sevens are typically knowledge about a ton of different topics, so this makes sexual sevens capable of connecting with just about anyone they want to. However, the sexual seven is the epitome of hot or cold, and they often leave people feeling manipulated or abandoned after the sexual seven has lost that initial spark that comes from the infatuation period. When they get unhealthy, sexual 7s start chasing unrealistic highs that make it increasingly difficult to be grounded in reality or committed to any one person. Okay, those are the instincts. Now let's dive into where the 7s fall within each of the 3 Enneagram triads.